Pastor Emmanuel was not only a fake pastor, but was also a womanizer. He would always woo the female workers in the church, sleep with them, and if they get pregnant, he would tell them to get rid of the baby. In the busy city of Lagos, Nigeria, Pastor Emmanuel led a church called Divine Grace Ministries. He speaks loudly and people listen to him with so much attention. He talks about how God helps people become rich in no time, heal the sick, and do different miracles in their lives. His church used to be small, but as time went by, it grew and became very huge and popular. Before he became a pastor, Pastor Emmanuel was originally born as Oluwasegun Adebowale. He grew up in a small village in the southwest part of Nigeria. Even as a young boy, he was good at talking, telling lies, and telling different stories. When he was 18, he left home to find greener pastures in Lagos. He tried many things to get rich, like selling herbal medicine and even running a Ponzi scheme where he tricked people into giving him money. But what really helped him was how he could make people like him and believe his lies because he was so good at it. That's how he ended up becoming a pastor. At Divine Grace Ministries, people believed they see miracles happen all the time. Pastor Emmanuel and his close friends planned carefully to make it look like people are being healed and getting lots of money miraculously. The church members tell stories about how they were sick but then got better all of a sudden, or how they suddenly became rich without working or doing anything, or even some had to say they were dead and came back alive. These stories spread quickly on social media and through church groups, attracting even more and more people joining the church. Pastor Emmanuel was not only a fake pastor, but was also a womanizer. He would always woo the female workers in the church, sleep with them, and if they get pregnant, he would tell them to get rid of the baby. One day, a choir member named Amaka got pregnant for Pastor Emmanuel. She went to tell him, but as usual, he told her to get rid of the baby. Amaka told him she was scared and cannot do such. Pastor Emmanuel warned Amaka severally to get rid of the baby, but each time Amaka refused. He told her that no one would even believe her story because everyone saw him as a very good and powerful pastor, and she would end up embarrassing not only herself but her family. This made Amaka very sad and unhappy. Amaka, with tears in her eyes, left Pastor Emmanuel's office. On her way, she met a lady whose name was Florence. Florence saw Amaka crying and was curious. She asked her what the problem was, but Amaka was too scared to say anything. Then Florence assured her that she was safe and nothing was going to happen to her, and she also promised to help her. Florence was a journalist who investigated things very carefully and can tell when something isn't right. So when Amaka told her everything, she told her not to worry, that she would take care of her and also investigate and make sure Pastor Emmanuel was arrested and brought to justice. Florence grew up in a family that believed strongly in God, but over time, she started to question churches and other religious institutions. To get more information, she started attending Pastor Emmanuel's church. She pretends to be a true believer at Divine Grace Ministries, so she could see what was really happening, as she had heard a lot of stories about the church. Florence takes notes on all the strange things she sees in the church, and she also kept investigating Pastor Emmanuel's church in Lagos. She went to their services, helped them out at events to earn people's trust. As she talked to them, she found out even more troubling things. Some former church members said they were forced to give a lot of money, even when they couldn't afford it. Others said they were pressured to admit to things they didn't do. just to make Pastor Emmanuel look more powerful. Florence also came to know that Amaka wasn't the only lady who had gotten pregnant for Pastor Emmanuel. As Florence dug deeper, she uncovered more about Pastor Emmanuel's past. Before he became a pastor, he used different names and got arrested a lot of times for scamming people of their hard-earned money. He wasn't really called by God. He saw being a pastor as an easy means to get rich and powerful. He took advantage of people's trust and their beliefs for his own benefits. Florence gathered so many proof and wrote to big newspaper organizations what she found out about the pastor. The people in Lagos and beyond were shocked when they read these articles. The news spread fast like wildfire, and everyone were upset, sad, and surprised. Pastor Emmanuel kept denying the fact that he did all of these things. He kept saying Florence was lying and was just attacking him because he was rich and powerful. But more and more people who were hurt by Pastor Emmanuel came forward. The police started to look into Divine Grace Ministries. Florence's articles helped them see how Pastor Emmanuel had tricked people into giving him money and avoided paying taxes. It became a very big legal fight between Pastor Emmanuel, the people, and also the government. Pastor Emmanuel hired powerful lawyers to defend him, but there was a lot of evidence against him. As the court case goes on, Florence's investigation affected many people. Florence thinks about how her investigation changed things. Some people praised her for showing the truth about Pastor Emmanuel. Others criticized her for causing trouble. She keeps watching the court case and writing about it in newspapers and online. Florence wants churches to be more honest and responsible to their members. After the trial, Pastor Emmanuel is found guilty of many crimes: cheating, stealing, and pretending to be someone else. The judge gives him a long time in prison. His church is shut down and everything it owned is sold to pay back the people he tricked and to pay the taxes he avoided. In the months that followed, Florence made sure that Amaka and the other pregnant ladies got justice. Part of the money gotten from selling Pastor Emmanuel's church were used in taking care of the pregnant ladies as well as their medical bills. Former members of Pastor Emmanuel's church started to heal and rebuild their lives as they were very hurt. Some joined new churches that are more open and honest. Others became activists, speaking out about the need for transparency in religious groups. Florence's story became very famous for showing the power of truth and courage. She continues her work as a journalist, uncovering more stories that help make the world a fairer place for everyone. Her journey proves that one person can make a big difference even against powerful forces. Florence continued to write about the importance of truth and fairness in newspapers and on social media. Her determination inspires others to stand up for what is right, no matter how hard it might be. As things began to settle down after the trial, people began to talk a lot about what happened. They talked about how investigative journalism like Florence can make sure powerful people are honest and fair. They also talked about how strong people can be when they survive being tricked and hurt. The story teaches us some big lessons. We should know that not every pastor was called by God. It shows how dangerous it can be to trust someone blindly just because they seem powerful. Florence's hard work and bravery are examples of how important it is to find out the truth even when it's hard. The saga of Pastor Emmanuel and Divine Grace Ministries serves as a reminder to always question, investigate, and seek justice, no matter how difficult the path may be. Thank you for watching. This is Tales by Joyful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also turn on your post notification so you'll be notified whenever we post another story. See you next time. Bye.